A lot of people believe that if you hold something for long enough, it will eventually become valuable. This is not always the case. It depends on a number of factors, most notably rarity. So, have you ever wondered whether your childhood trading cards are worth anything? Matt from Sports Card World has the answer.
The 90s is a very nostalgic time for card collecting, and if you didn't live it, it's really hard to explain just how popular card collecting was. There was shops everywhere for cards. I mean, you couldn't go to your local shopping centre and not find a place selling cards. It was such a boom, and everyone collected cards in the 90s. You'd put a card there and literally sometimes within an hour or two you had sold it. You wouldn't have a card on the shelf for more than a couple of days. The difference between today's collecting and the 90s was today there's just like one company that does manufacturing. Back then there was multiple companies, Upper Deck, Topps, Fleer, SkyBox to name a few. The competition to bring out new card designs and everything was really great, and each company tried to outdo each other with a new set design or something like that. You never knew what was going to come out. In the 80s and the very early part of the 90s, most card sets just had the base cards, but as it started to really get popular around that 93, 94 period is when they started bringing in what they call insert cards. So special cards that were randomly inserted into packs. Some of those ones at the time became valuable. I always loved collecting SkyBox. That was my set. I remember the 93, 94 SkyBox. It was the Series 1. It was the first box of cards I ever actually bought and opened and completed the whole set. So SkyBox was definitely my favourite. By far, some of the most popular inserts would have been the Fleer Ultra Scoring Kings from 93, 94. Very iconic card, purple with lightning in the background, and the Michael Jordan is one of probably everyone's most favourite cards. Other sets were Fleer Team Leaders and Fleer Total Ds from the 92, 93 set. A tough part of the job is probably on a daily basis we get a customer who will come in with their old folder, and you got to break it to them that they're not going to be able to retire, that the cards that they've got in their folder, that all the nostalgia that they might have and the memories that they might bring them, cards are really worth nothing. Unfortunately, the 90s cards, that was the start of the junk wax era. The junk wax era is from the really early 90s and probably late 80s as well. They just produced so much of it, and cards that you thought were probably really rare have found over time that they aren't. There was a lot of them produced. If you're going to go look at your old cards and find your folder, whether it's out in the garage or maybe at mum and dad's house, I'm going to break it down to you. Most cards from the early 90s through to about 1996 are probably worth nothing, apart from a few cards. The junk wax era ended around 97. From there, sets were a lot more limited, and it made collecting your favourite cards a lot harder to find. So if you're going to go now and find your old cards folder and have a look through them and think you're going to find that $1 million card, it's not going to happen. But what you can do is have a look and have a look at the players and remember all those good times you had with your mates collecting and, buying packs of cards from your local card shop.